The embargo on Russian oil arouses the greatest emotions. It is unacceptable to Hungary and a big problem for Slovakia and the Czech Republic. And it is this topic, related to the sixth package of sanctions against Russia, that will be the focus of the discussions at the Brussels summit that began today. I think we are moving towards agreement on the sixth package of sanctions.
In the meantime, so many countries already are taking steps to turn their backs towards Russia on oil. So a lot of things are happening now. I'm confident that we will be able to take a decision. But let's be fair, if some countries have legitimate concerns, let's take into account those legitimate concerns.
Some community leaders have been criticised for making empty promises. One of them is the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, who, together with French President Emmanuel Macron, talked on the telephone to Vladimir Putin last Saturday about peace negotiations with Ukraine. The Russian army is proud to show the annihilation of the Ukrainian city centre with a thermobaric weapon in just 8 seconds, while Olaf Scholz spends 80 minutes talking on the telephone with Vladimir Putin. During the conversation, Putin was to warn Germany and France against further deliveries of weapons to Ukraine. Tardiness in this matter had caused disputes within the ruling coalition in the Bundestag. Germany, by its indecisive attitude, plus Scholz's constant contacts with Putin, has plunged itself into an unenviable situation, both internally because the coalition is cracking at the seams, and externally because it simply loses its credibility. Meanwhile, just before the start of the meeting, Olaf Scholz spoke about 100 billion euros for rearming the German army, gave assurances about German support for Ukraine, and declared further steps to move away from Russian energy resources. As for the Russian oil embargo, the talks seem to be going in the right direction and are very constructive. Let's not praise the day before sunset, but you can see here, from all sides, the will to understand and reach a compromise. Germany is a country that has long been prepared for this situation, and already in December last year, we started talking at the governmental level about what to do if the situation escalated. As stressed by the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, an agreement on the tightening of sanctions is close. She recalled that negotiations on previous packages were not easy either.
We do have today one topic that is still open, that is the sixth sanctions package. We've been working very hard and successful with 5 sanction packages already. It's never been easy. It's the same now with the sixth package. The Commission and the French presidency have been working intensively in the last days to move forward on this package. We are not there yet.
From the very beginning, the Polish government was in favour of abandoning Russian resources as quickly as possible. We have to ask ourselves the question whether we did everything in order for the war to end as soon as possible, and for it to end in Ukraine's victory. It seems, however, that diplomatic efforts to end the war in Ukraine as soon as possible have been weakened recently, and those undertaken are still not strong enough to exert the expected pressure on Moscow. I have the impression that few people count on diplomacy today. On the one hand, we have telephones from Berlin and Paris that call Putin, and nothing comes of it. I think it is more of talk for the sake of talk, without actual hope, but an illusion that something can come of it. Also today, there are no open channels for direct negotiations between Kiev and Moscow. Apparently, both parties meet in some groups online, but I would not overestimate the importance of this type of format. It is understandable, I hope for all sides of this war, that it is too early for a diplomatic solution at this stage, and the outcome of this war will be decided on the battlefield. In addition to delegations from European member states, Brussels also hosted demonstrators and activists calling on governments to impose an embargo on Russian oil as soon as possible.
For weeks already, the sixth packet of sanctions has not been approved by the European Parliament and the European Council, and I consider it a living disgrace that people are dying in Ukraine defending European values, and at the same time the talks are being held whether we're going to lose this many or this much money by imposing oil embargo and gas embargo on Russian gas.
While most countries are discussing how to impose further actions on Russia, others are establishing new trade ties with Putin. The President of Serbia, Alexander Vučić, during a telephone conversation, agreed with Vladimir Putin on a new 3-year contract for gas supplies from Russia. The existing contract is valid until the 31st of May. As the Serbian president said, he does not intend to join the anti-Russian hysteria.